Okay.
Good morning, Portland.
Good morning, Portland. Week 129, Justice for Qadira. And as always, we praise Jesus that we are out here for another week. We never know when our adversaries will decide to have us swept off the street. So it's always a blessing to be able to come out and talk with the good people of this city about the real problems that this city is facing. It's unfortunate that we're not seeing more people show up to rally, but we're patient, we'll wait. Hopefully, as the summer gets going, we'll see more people down here. I want to get right to what happened yesterday or on Wednesday with the city council. They went ahead and passed the camping ban. We knew they were going to do that. And then they went ahead yesterday and approved another $3.2 billion to address homelessness, community violence, and mental illness. I want to talk about why none of that is going to work and why every red cent will be wasted. And I have no doubt that every red cent will be wasted because the people in charge, they're just not connected enough to regular people to even understand the problem. So I want to go over a service that is actually provided in Oregon to people who have money and for the select few that Medicaid will cover it for, but it's called adult foster care. And I want to talk about what an adult foster care home is because it's something that is so needed in today's society as a business. And I'd like to see a lot more people opening these businesses because it's actually a good business opportunity for anybody that wants to get into the business of caring for people, and we need a whole lot of you. So what are adult foster care homes? And this is straight from the government website, okay? This is Oregon's Aging and Disability Resource Connection of Oregon. So you can go right to their website. They actually know how to solve this problem. So adult foster care homes are licensed single-family residences that offer 24-hour care in a home-like setting for up to 5 people. Adult foster care homes serve individuals with a wide range of needs. They must be able to provide care at all times, but not all homes are staffed and awake at night, so consider if you or your loved one needs a lot of care at night. An adult foster care home is often less expensive than other long-term services and support settings. It is also a home environment. Some adult foster homes even allow pets. Staff in some homes speak languages besides English. Adult foster care homes provide meals, including special diets, provide or arrange transportation to appointments and other activities, do laundry, give medications, help with eating, dressing, toileting, and other personal care, help with walking and or getting out of bed or a chair, deal with behavioral symptoms as needed, provide friendship and a safe and caring environment. The Oregon Department of Human Services licenses, inspects, and monitors adult foster care homes to make sure they are safe and give proper care. And they ensure providers and caregivers are trained, pass a background check, and are physically and mentally able to give care. Paying for adult foster care is a whole nother matter. You can pay with your long-term insurance. Medicare does not pay for adult foster care, and Medicaid does just for the select few. I don't know why that is, because this is really what people need, especially people coming in off the streets. Now, I want to read really quickly, and this is posted at every adult foster care home that I've ever worked in, what the resident Bill of Rights are. Because, you know, when we're talking about rights for homeless people, we already have this figured out. Like I said, we just don't have enough money going to this program. So I want to read these really briefly, and then I just want to get into more of this, because honestly, this is where this money should be going. and it's just not. Each resident has the right to be treated as an adult with respect and dignity, be informed of all resident rights and house policies, be encouraged and assisted to exercise constitutional and legal rights, including the right to vote, be informed of their medical condition and the right to consent to or refuse treatment, receive appropriate care and services and prompt medical care as needed, be free from abuse, complete privacy when receiving treatment or personal care, associate and communicate privately with any person of choice and send and receive personal mail unopened, have access to and participate in activities of social, religious, and community groups, have medical and personal information kept confidential, keep and use a reasonable amount of personal clothing and belongings, and to have a reasonable amount of private, secure storage space, be free from chemical and physical restraints except as ordered by a physician or other qualified practitioner. Restraints are used only for medical reasons to maximize a resident's physical functioning and after other alternatives have been tried. Restraints are not used for discipline or convenience. Manage own financial affairs unless legally restricted. Be free from financial exploitation. The licensee must not charge or ask for application fees or non-refundable deposits or solicit, accept, or receive money or property from a resident other than the amount agreed to for services. A written agreement regarding services to be provided and the rates to be charged. The licensee must give 30 days written notice before any change in the rates or ownership of the home. Not to be transferred or moved out of the adult foster home without 30 days written notice and an opportunity for a hearing. A licensee may transfer a resident only for medical reasons or for the welfare of the resident or other residents or for non-payment. A safe and secure environment. Be free from discrimination in regard to race, color, national origin, gender, sexual orientation, or religion. Make suggestions or complaints without fear of retaliation, and be free of discrimination in regard to the execution of an advance directive, physician's order for life-sustaining treatment, or a DNR, which is a do not resuscitate. So, it's really frustrating to me. You want to put that away? It's really frustrating to me as somebody who has worked in this business for 20 plus years to know that there is a solution to the homeless problem that's just not being used. It's a lot easier for our public officials to give large amounts of money to all these little different nonprofits because it's so much easier to steal. You know, the problem with all the little different nonprofits is you don't have the services all wrapped into one. So, and you're giving people resources, but they don't have anywhere to put them. So the adult foster care model is so much better, and it provides a business opportunity and jobs for the community, which all of which our state is lacking right now. So my hope is after they waste this next $3.2 billion and the problem grows, we can move on to actually working on some solutions that actually can work. And that also require a lot less housing to be built and things like that. I think at some point we need to admit that a lot of people are coming into adulthood without the skills to manage living in today's society, and they need a lot more support and help. And that is what the adult foster care model can offer. I do agree that the system is understaffed, and that's another thing I want to talk about. You know, they are passing these bills. Okay, you're going to give $3.2 billion to this problem. The problem is you don't have the care staff to get anything that you say you're going to get done. And so anybody who is, you know, cheering our public, well, I like to call them our public overlords, right? Because they just do what they want. But anybody who is cheering on their suggestions, I mean, I don't really understand it. We are breeding this problem. So for every person that they get off the street, you've got 5 more piling into the street. Because there is no recognition of what is actually going on here. It's not just the squalor and in depression, house people are doing this as well. So, that's a big issue for our public officials, is they really have lost sight of what the problem is. They've lost sight of what the problem is because they're so disconnected from people. They're only connected to money. So they don't know how to solve people problems anymore because they don't have regular people problems. But I wish some parents, would speak up about this issue, because let's face it, kids are moving out of home. Either they're not leaving home, or they're moving out very, very late. Why? Because the world has become a very complicated place to survive in. This is why I would like to see more adult foster care homes opening up, because it's a great opportunity to actually work with people to become self-sufficient. You can give people individualized care plans so they can work towards self-sufficiency. And there will be people who stay in the adult foster care system, and there'll be people who move out of it. But I do think we need to start looking at group living. You want to say people are camping. Well, let's start providing cabins, I guess, and you can get assigned to a cabin. That's what I don't like about the modern world. We just keep changing all the language. When I was a kid, camping was a recreational activity. It wasn't somebody running out of money and having to go live on the side of the road, or somebody being traumatized and then choosing to go live on the side of the road. When I was a kid, that was somebody in crisis. They were homeless. We never said they were camping. But everywhere you look on the globe today, we're changing the actual meanings of words, which is making everything very confusing for everybody. They didn't really ban camping, right? They banned living on the sidewalk, which nobody should be living on the sidewalk. And then they don't want to talk about how they actually have better solutions for this, but they don't want to pay for it. I don't know why Medicaid is not extended to our homeless population. They want to pay for gender-affirming care for minors and abortions for minors, when we can't even get our adult population up, functional, off the street and getting the help they need. So it's a priority issue, right? It's not like the solutions don't exist. I also like the adult foster care model because I've been reading about what's going on in these Safe Rest villages. The camps will be no different. It's not really fair to make certain neighborhoods absorb the cost of all of this. What's fair is it gets sort of distributed throughout the city. And what you need to realize is traumatized people, they need to be around regular, healthy people, which is why I like the adult foster care model when it's appropriately staffed. If you have good care staff and a good provider, then you have 5 people who have somebody to work with and go to so they can actually follow their care plans and get better. And as they get better, they can move out of the system, and you can actually track the money that's being used. What we have right now with all these different nonprofits is just money's going to food and supplies, but then people have nowhere to put it. There's no way to track it. And then we're not checking in with the people we're servicing.
Yeah, it's a big problem, folks, because what is happening is, and this is a huge problem with global human culture right now, is we are lacking accountability. So we have no way of holding the systems that we have created accountable for doing its supposed job. That's the same thing that my wife and I, experienced in the legal system and in the medical system. And the boards that are gathered to hold these people accountable, they wind up actually protecting the people that are administering these organizations. So, from accountability.
What it comes down to is everybody just puts their hand in the pot.
already spent $3.2 billion on the homeless problem, and it got worse. Why do we think it's going to get better if they put more money towards it?
Well,
folks, the homeless issue is not a money issue. It is a people-caring issue. We do not care about people. That is not our goal on this planet. It needs to be.
That's the whole issue. There's a complete disconnect if you're not actually going to take care of people, if you're just going to put them in a pod or a tent or a camp, and then you're not really going to talk to them or help them or check in with them, then why bother to give them anything?
Why do you think that any program like that is going to be successful in terms of getting people back on their feet? Folks, in order to get back on your feet, you need to be properly cared for.
And I want to point out, like I said, there are a lot of kids that are growing up in homes where they're not learning the skills they need to actually go out into the world and function as an adult. So again, the more adult foster care homes that are open, you're just creating options for group living so people, depending on their level of ability, can get the assistance they need to manage their lives. Some people will need a lot of assistance. Some people will need a little bit of assistance. I've helped quite a few homeless family members, and I'm telling you that first year, people need a lot of guidance and help. And that is where I love the adult foster care model. I mean, with children, we put them into foster care. It's not a great model because there's so much corruption in that system, especially since kids, it's difficult for them to actually speak up for themselves, and that is also true for adults. But with more oversight, I think that these programs could work really well, especially for adults, because adults can kind of, as they improve and get better, they can kind of start policing themselves. And a big thing for our homeless community is actually having a place to go, a room with a door in a home where they can live and be treated like a person, because once you start treating somebody like they matter, then they can start thinking about how they can contribute to society again, and they can actually start entertaining coming back to society. Now, if you just want to put them in a field and give them 2 snacks a day, that's just why.
Folks, there's also...
you're just treating them like they don't matter, don't expect anything in their life to improve, and our public officials don't want anything to improve because...
they're making money off of it.
They make so much money.
$3.2 billion they were able to approve so they can steal it again?
Yeah, and they'll approve it again next year and the year after, and the price tag will grow because people won't get better, because there's no way for people to get better. Like I said, we don't have the care staff anywhere on this planet. There's no focus on taking care of people. So unless we are hiring more caregivers, unless we are actually going to start paying attention to people, and I don't mean in these big, large settings, because, the big settings don't work. You can't give people the individual attention or care that they need, especially somebody who is traumatized coming in off the street.
Folks, there's also another factor that is very, very seriously hampering our ability to care for people or to actually be functioning, properly functioning adults in civilization, and that is the movement of technology. Folks, we, as adults, we don't understand the world that we live in now. It's completely different, okay? And it's exponentially different than it was when the adults that were raising us were growing up. Folks, it's a whole new world. We don't know how to inform the children to work properly in this system.
Well, it's because it's caused an extra disconnect. We were already disconnected because of the monetary system, but after 2008 and the advent of all this social media and all this technology, we're even more disconnected, and our leaders are even more disconnected. human connection. So that is another reason we like to get down here in person, because how often do you see, somebody really speaking from the heart anywhere anymore? No, these people on TV, they're all actors, they're all fake, they don't care. You never see your mayor down here, he's gonna hide behind a screen, because he's just pushing an agenda. He's not really trying to clean any of this up because he doesn't use any of this.
And he's making serious money off of it, okay?
I also want to point out, me and my husband have been fighting for justice for our daughter for 16 years. We are housed, we are taxpayers, we've been doing everything essentially by the book, and guess what? We are still considered garbage. So,
by our public officials, people literally ignore us. And they want us to shut up. We've been fined several times for being out here and speaking freely, which is supposed to be protected by the U.S. Constitution.
So, we are actually facing another criminal citation on June 22nd. I don't know if Pontius Pilate will be available that day to crucify us for coming down here and telling the truth, but he could show up at any time. You know what I'm saying? Because anytime anyone tries to let humanity know that they need to get their act together, they quickly like to sweep that person, out of their way. That's been our historical MO every single time. Just like me and my husband are ignored, even though we're down here telling a very heart-wrenching story and really, really trying to help our community, most people they don't listen. People are turned off. They don't want the life experience. They don't care about the life experience. And I'm telling you,
they don't want people to matter.
No, and I'm telling you.
Why don't you want people to matter?
Because your public officials don't want people to matter. And that's what you've learned. You've been taught.
That's what you have been being trained to do, is to disregard people and their experiences. And that's not a good way forward for humanity if we don't start actually, genuinely caring about each other. We're not going to make it here on this planet, folks.
It's not going to, the next few years are going to get really ugly. We wanted to come down today in our homemade I Am the Value shirts, but we just didn't have time to get it done. But we will wear them next week if it's sunny. My suggestion to the homeless community and to anybody who really wants to protect themselves from the onslaught that is about to come is you need to label yourself as what is valuable, because they're coming for you. They're coming for everybody, the multimillionaires, the billionaires.
The money worshipers.
Yeah, the money worshipers. They're not inviting anybody to stay. And all you can do is remind them that what they're doing is wrong. But you can't be violent. You can't be violent because there's no fighting them with violence. The monetary system has taken over every aspect of creation at this point, in a way.
On this planet.
On this planet, people are going to follow the money straight to hell. All you can do is try to remind the person standing in front of you that you are what is valuable. I would love to see the homeless community here in Portland actually take a hold of this exercise and really do it.
Folks, but we're going to be, until that happens, we're going to be out here modeling the behavior, okay? Because it's with this exercise that we were able to survive the attacks and the abuse that we suffered from your government.
Exactly. So, it's very simple. If you've labeled yourself as what is valuable, when they come for you, when they come to ticket you, when they come to fine you, when they come to put you in jail, you get to look them dead in the eye and you need to say, don't you know I'm the value? Can't you see what you're doing to the value? Because it is our elected officials, the money worshipers that are running everything on this planet, that need to learn and begin to understand what they are about to get rid of and the hell they are about to create for themselves.
Folks, these people people would not harm a dollar, but they don't have any problem harming you, the actual literal value.
You know, and it's interesting to me that people in the housed community, they think they're safe from the wrath. But me and my husband, we were housed. We are housed. My husband was working at Nike when our daughter was burned, okay? And we do believe that this was satanic ritual abuse. This is why they don't want to talk about what actually happened. Can we turn the sign today? They don't want to talk about what actually happened to our daughter because they boiled up a tea kettle, okay, of scalding water. They put her in a tub, and then they brutally assaulted her. They dumped it all over her. So that is satanic ritual abuse. That is what happened here in Portland. Okay, so when you're watching the downfall of the city, it's because the people in charge are very, very sick. And they think they're going to get away with this. They want to get away with this because the abuse and torture of children is just fine with them. They want to abuse and torture the children. They want to abuse and torture the adults. And that's what we see going on everywhere right now. So, our daughter is not the only person that has been subjected to this sick behavior. You know, yes, we formed a government, but there has to be a way to hold government accountable when it is no longer working for the people, especially when they're getting so blatant. I mean, this $3.2 billion that they're about to steal, you know, for the homeless community and violence when they're not really trying to work on these issues.
No, they're making these problems, folks, so they can steal your money.
Yeah,
okay?
You'll see
they're saying, oh my God, there's this horrible problem that they made, and we need all this money to fix it. Folks, so much money has been spent to fix this problem already. Tell me, why has the problem gotten worse?
You know, one thing I can tell you about the problem getting worse is there's no respect for the caregiving industry. Every single caregiver I know, every nurse, wound care nurse, caregiver, everywhere you go, we're understaffed. Everybody thinks that the role of a caregiver, oh, we're just peons, right? Low paid, you know, people who don't really need to be doing that job. No, the role of the caregiver, that's more important than the CEO. That's more important than the governor. That's more important than somebody like Elon Musk or Bill Gates. Those are the jobs that really need to be done. That is how we're supposed to be running this planet. We're sent here by God to help take care of all the life. And this is something that your leaders don't want you to know. They want you to be miserable with them because they can't stand the life. And they can't stand the life because they can't create the life.
But they're trying to figure it out, folks. And I'm telling you what they are doing, it is not natural. It is not natural. They're trying to create babies in labs, okay, without people, okay? They just want to take samples of human beings and genetically create children, okay? Who wants to come from a lab? Okay, that's not a human experience.
We're at a point where the disrespect for the life is so high. Well, for instance, we're down here speaking once a week and we've got somebody playing music over us. It's disrespectful. Especially when you are standing in hell and somebody is actually trying to help you. But it's your choice to remain in hell.
No, this is
it's a free will exercise.
Yeah, this is what we can expect here on this planet. When somebody comes to try and help people, get out of the garbage, the dump that we have created for ourselves, they just want to play music over us, folks. They want to get rid of us. They don't want our voices here. But folks, we deserve to be here. We know what we're talking about.
It's really funny too because Portland was supposed to be the place of Black Lives Matter, but the Black Lives start talking, and oh boy, turn up the music.
We got to get rid of those voices, right? We can't have black people actually mattering here in the city.
No,
we don't want to do that.
We just like to talk about it and then pretend. And it's very sad, you know, that our experience is actually being buried by a bought and paid for media that would rather see the world completely depopulated. You know, I just saw Ron Wyden put out some statement on climate change. Oh, sure, Ron, you're going to help us save the planet when you've got all these dying people on the road.
Yeah, who are you saving the planet for?
Yeah, yourself? Yourself?
Just the money worshippers, right?
And
they're the only ones that belong here, right?
And it's funny to me because, you know, I hear people in the housed community complaining about the condition of the city, but they are still on their knees in complete reverence to our so-called leaders, okay? And our leaders, they're not leaders. They're actors, they're frauds, they're thieves, they're criminals.
They are literally criminals.
And they're covering up this horrific crime against our daughter. You know, this happened in 2007, and we've watched the city literally come apart, and we will continue to watch the city come apart because I'm telling you, the United States has a karmic debt to pay here, okay? We've enjoyed, you know, we enjoyed the land of plenty, and now that's just going to be ripped from all of us. You know why? Because nobody wants to acknowledge what we value here, which is not God. It's money. Money, 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 money. Bunch of money worshipers. The churches are filled with money worshipers. Everywhere we look, money worshipers. And all they want is their money. Well, that's all your leaders want is money. They don't want you. So they're making rules and policies to keep their money. They're not interested in keeping you.
And you should be able to see that, folks. It should be very apparent by now that they don't want people here.
And
okay, the people in power, the actual people that are running your governments.
It's because they have enormous egos because they've been given so much money. And when you have to house an ego, it can take up whole land masses. I mean, that's why you have these billionaires with these living in these huge structures like Bill Gates, okay? Because he needs to actually house his ego. This is going on all over the world globally. These people
shoot Nazis.
There might be that. I'm okay.
We really need to refrain from
heal
hurting
them
people.
if we can.
Folks, we need to refrain from hurting people because that's not what we're supposed to be doing down here.
But we could try to heal them if possible.
We need to take care of people. We don't need to be hurting people. Folks, please. That's, I know it's an evolved activity, okay, but we can actually try to act like we are in evolved
recipes. I will tell you this though, if the money worshippers win, I'm gonna let them win. They can win, and if y'all want to sit here with them, you can sit here with them. You don't have to take a single suggestion. You don't ever have to care about what happened to our daughter. Because this planet is just going to hell, and whoever's here is just gonna be in hell. And you know, there's only so much we can worry about that. We can make our suggestions. You can't sit down here being violent and disregarding the life and expect anything to change for the better.
Folks, it's just not going to happen, okay? A great man once walked the world. His name was Jesus Christ, okay? He came here, and all he was trying to get people to do was care about each other. That's all he wanted. That's all he wanted, was for people to care about each other. And we killed him, okay? That was a collective decision by humanity to get rid of this man off the planet. Okay?
Didn't want his advice.
Suggestions. Okay? But guess what? His message was the truth, and it is still the truth. Caring for each other is the main thing that we are supposed to be doing here on this planet.
The better we do it, the better things are going to be for everybody. But I don't know if we'll ever ever get there because right now people are so desensitized. And I think right now, especially here in Portland, people are committed to their suffering. So we'll see the big concentration camps. We'll see the suffering grow. We'll see more murder, death, chaos. We'll see that in this city. We'll see that all over the world because Portland is basically a microcosm of what's happening globally. So our downfall will be the downfall everywhere. And we are going to continue to experience that because we are not coming to terms with the reality of the situation we're in, which is this happened here. Our public officials are involved. They're actual criminals on the books, and they know you don't care.
And so they're just going to do whatever they want, folks.
And they will.
And they are doing whatever they want.
That's
and
right.
We don't have any way of holding these people accountable. My wife and I have learned that by first-hand experience.
It also comes from the fact that nobody in this city wants to take back their value. You know, you ask people to do a simple exercise. Get a white t-shirt. Write I am the value on it. Try to communicate that to somebody else. Try to communicate that to your public officials. I wish that more people in the homeless community had done that simple exercise when they went to testify down at City Hall. But no, me and my husband can't be heard at all. We couldn't be heard the night we took our daughter to the hospital. We couldn't be heard in the years after, and we can't be heard now. Everybody wants to pretend we're not here. And my big question is, how's that working out for you? You know, you have these people drowning us out in the square. What's the point?
What is the point, folks? You don't want to listen to the truth?
You want to dance in hell? You want to wait for things to get worse? You can't wait for the homeless people to be rounded up and dead in camps? That's what you want because you will suffer the consequences of that because you don't get away with anything. If that's what you wanted,
that's what you're going to get, folks.
I look forward to people coming into the afterlife and listening to my voice for hours and hours and hours when they arrive there or something like it. Because you will be hit with the truth. And if you've been harming people, hurting people, killing people, all of that, you're going to know all about it.
You're going to hear all about it, folks.
And you will have to pay because that's just how it works. That's not God being mean to you. That's you needing to learn a lesson.
It's just universal law.
Trust
me, God loves you either way, whether you're sinning or not. But it's up to you to love yourself.
Absolutely.
And that is what God that's what God is asking you to do. But it's really hard to love yourself when you're running around hurting people.
Absolutely. I look forward to people reclaiming their value. I know if you don't, you're gonna get rounded up. I suggest you just don't bother with the violence because there is no way to fight the money worshipers.
Not here on this planet.
They have all the money and they're gonna do what they want. Your best bet is to label yourself as what is valuable and then let it be. That's all you really can do, and that's what me and my husband are doing. Making sure that they understand that if they want to do something to us, we are the value.
And we know that. And we know that they are harming what is valuable.
And we know that they know because we have made the effort. So it'd be nice to see Portland actually make some kind of effort because it's interesting having watched the whole George Floyd thing and having it meant nothing to any of those protesters who I'm beginning to think were all paid. They must have been paid, right? Because me and my husband, we do this for free on our own time and our own dime. We've been out here over 2.5 years. Where did all those other protesters go?
Where are they?
They don't mean it.
Do they care about black voices?
They didn't care about anything.
Do they actually want black people to matter?
They didn't care about that. They just wanted to tear up the city, you know, and now look where we are.
We're just black folks out here trying to be heard. That's all. Don't get mad at us, okay? Don't get mad at us.
It's interesting. We are victims of government corruption, and when people walk past us and want to get mad at us about that, well, that doesn't even make any sense. You know, what you should be mad about is your failing government. This system doesn't work. We've created a system where a small group of people steal extraordinary amounts of money to buy mansions and crap for themselves that they will never use while people die in the streets.
And they try
what
to
kind
make
of system is that?
They want you to feel bad about it. They want you to feel like you're out there using too much. Like you're too many, right? You are not too many.
I also want to talk about the fact that they're constantly going on about how the homeless live in squalor. Hey, I've met a lot of house people living in complete squalor behind their closed door, living in piles of garbage, completely mentally ill, alcoholics, everything you see on the street. So when you're sitting there saying, oh, the homeless are the problem, it's way deeper than that. People need care. They need connection.
And we need to be providing that for them, okay? That's our job. That's your responsibility as a human being on this planet, is to care for everybody around you.
The most esteemed job on this planet is that of a caregiver. Okay, but we're saying, oh, movie stars are important and CEOs are important and people who play sports are important.
And people who have money are important.
Yeah, people who take care of people are important. And those jobs should come with way better benefits and way better salaries. And there should be way more people doing them. You know, we are not being led in a direction where we can even begin to create a heaven.
But folks, we can create a heaven, because guess what? We are all sovereign, free will beings. That's right. Your authority, it's built in to your own existence. Folks, it is not these people in these buildings that are the authorities. It is you. They are using your authority, and you are just giving it to them.
We've forgotten what self-governance even looks like in America. I mean, my God, it's pathetic what we've become, but we can get better. We don't have to sit here and just wallow in our own shit until there's nothing left.
You can take your authority back, folks. You do not have to give it to anyone.
You need to get up off your knees is what? Because these people, I mean, the shameless theft of the government at this point, I really, really honestly believe there isn't a global leader right now that should not be being investigated for crimes against humanity. They do not care about people. And let me tell you what, upstairs, where the real administration lives, oh yeah, they're getting investigated for crimes against humanity. None of these people sitting on these councils or in these big offices throwing these weapons, they're not going anywhere nice. They got a long, long journey ahead of them for what they have done.
But folks, don't join them in that.
Don't join them in that.
You don't have to.
No. You need to reclaim your value. And you can do that because most people on this planet have not done the evil of the people who are running things. Okay? So you have a much shorter journey back to your value than some of these people like Mayor Wheeler, Tina Kotek voting in things that they know are wrong. They know are wrong.
What's up, man?
How you doing?
Yes.
Jay, right? How are you doing? It's good.
Yeah.
Stay out here in the rain.
You're just trying to be heard. That's all, man. Thanks for being out here, though. God bless you.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yeah. Nice
Thank
to
you.
see you.
Folks, we're not gonna keep on talking at you today, okay? We do love it when people come up to us and try to engage with us, because we just like talking to people, okay? Because we know what's important. People are important. That's what's important. I wish your government officials knew that, but they don't seem to know that.
It's ironic, though. They seem to know with, like, certain people. And, again, I just want to circle back to the adult foster care system. I see so many people who are homeless that are just like the people I'm taking care of in adult foster care. And I'm wondering why these people are not qualifying for services. But we'll pay for things that we don't need to be paying for. And I'm sorry, kids, but I don't... Kids and gender-affirming care, no. You can wait till you're an adult to do things. Sorry.
Folks, we don't need to be paying for bombs.
We don't need to be paying for bombs.
Why is there so much money to build weapons, but not to take care of people?
You know, we need
Why
to start...
isn't there enough money to take care of people? I can tell you what, folks, there is enough money to take care of people, but taking care of people is not the focus on this planet.
It's also a devalued activity. So we have, you know, the mother who has been completely devalued here on planet Earth. As a matter of fact, people are now saying women, you know, why do we even need to bother to have women to have the babies? I mean, that's what we've gotten down to with these this new creation of the lab grown babies that they want to be putting out here shortly, which will not be human, FYI. But just caregivers in general, it's a very low-paid position. Same with nurses, you know, and all kinds of care staff in between, down to the caregiver. We're just not getting the recognition that we need, and the job is not coming with the prestige it deserves. And so lots and lots of people who need care are being left to the wayside, which is why I can tell you the homeless problem is going to grow. Because for all the house people, there are so many house people that are literally living like homeless people in their homes and apartments because they need socialization, human connection, and care.
And we've made that so hard to come by on this planet.
So these people, they're going to lose their housing as they become more depressed and more mired in their problems, which is why the homeless problem will grow. So my suggestion is this. We've let the city council pass their ordinance. When they're done wasting the $3.2 billion, can we think about trying our suggestion? Because our suggestion is much cheaper, and it gives people rights and a place to be right out the gate.
Folks, we're going to keep coming out here and letting you know that our government is absolutely and completely corrupt, and there is no way to hold these people accountable, not without a critical mass of people caring about what's going on here on this planet.
I will tell you this, too. We continue to seek an investigation into what happened to our daughter, because what happened to her really does resemble satanic ritual abuse, and we need to figure out who in our government, you know, is truly a Satanist, I guess, because what they did to her, I don't know what else to call it. Why would you boil up a tea kettle and dump it all over a child and then not treat the child?
And then run a fraudulent trial to whitewash it and cover it up. That's what these people did.
No, and then double down, and then double down on it.
Involved in this.
Yeah, and then double down on it. I would like a real clear investigation. I mean, it'd be interesting if the church would get involved, but again, I don't think there are any churches on this planet anymore. We have houses of money where people worship money. They give money to these fake pastors, okay, because no, you don't need to give somebody money to get into heaven, okay? You need to reclaim your value, okay, because you are the value.
That's
and
right,
that
folks.
is what is missing here on this planet. And me and my husband were really hoping that Portland was going to be able to get this done. So we don't know if Portland will. We will wear the homemade shirts tomorrow. The homeless community can see what they look like.
Folks, we're going to shut it down, but we'll be back. We'll be back.
I just want to say the homeless community
Folks, these t-shirts that we wear, this is truly the armor, the full armor of God. Because what God wants you to know is that you are what is valuable. That's the truth.
And if they drag you off, God wants them to know that they are dragging off the value. And there is a punishment for that. You can't just round people up and start killing them because you have no leadership skills. You don't know how to organize people. You don't know how to manage the population that you're dealing with. And that's what we have with our global leadership. They're not leaders.
These people don't care about people. They care about money. That's very apparent right now. And folks, guess what? You don't need to listen to anyone that doesn't care about you.
And you certainly don't need to listen to somebody that's telling you that you don't belong on a planet you were born on and that there's not enough for you to be here, because it's all lies. Don't listen to these people. They literally worship their money. They go behind closed doors. They get on their knees and they worship money. It is a sickness, okay? You don't have to listen to these people, and we're going to be back next week. We're going to keep pushing these ideas, but what we need is for people in the community to come to this of their own free will. You have to choose to label yourself as what is valuable.
You have to choose to be the value.
And we're going to make it really easy because we know a lot of people don't have money. This is not a patented design. This is something you can make right here with a black Sharpie and a white t-shirt. So
I am the value.
absolutely.
You are the value.
And just imagine they start these big camps and start rounding people up, and what people see from afar is a bunch of value, not garbage, value.
The people in charge, they want you to believe that people can be garbage and just gotten rid of. But that's not the truth.
It's not
Every
true.
single person is what actually matters.
Absolutely.
That's what is actually valuable, not money.
Let's end it.
Folks, we're going to get out of here, but we're going to end it like this. And then we'll be back next week, same time.
We will
same
always
place.
be back.
Folks, here it goes. I am the value.
I am the value.
You are the value.
You are the value.
We are the value.
We are the value.
We're not talking about money. We're not talking about gold or silver. We are not talking about cryptocurrency. We're talking about you. We're talking about your very life. That is literally what is actually valuable.
Okay, same time. I am the value. You are the value. We are the value. I am the value. You are the value. We are the value. I am the value. You are the value. We are the value. And to my homeless brothers and sisters, like I said, we'll wear the homemade shirts tomorrow. I'd love to see you guys get involved. Next Friday. We'd love to see you guys get involved. Yes, and anybody else. Let's start taking back our value, Portland. Somebody on the planet needs to start this. Let's do this. Thank you.
Thank you.
And God bless.
God bless, Portland.
Hi.
I really appreciate what you guys always say.
Thank you.
What is justice?
Justice for Qadira. So this is our daughter. She was the victim of abuse by a politician brother. He was the Southwest City Commissioner in 2007. The record holder was his brother, Todd Holder, and his wife Amy was in like a couple of things. I don't know. They put her in a tub. They burned her. Falling water from a tea kettle. Then we didn't. She was 8.